look, it's 24 the game. I wonder what CTU has to deal with in these 24 hours. Hopefully not a bad video game. So, if you don't know what 24 is, then Google it. What do I look like, your teacher or someone who knows things about stuff? Anyways, during this 24-hour adventure that lasts around 6 to 7 hours, you'll be in control of Tony Almeida.
This isn't the best day for you to start.
Michelle Desler.
Have you arrived at Yu's apartment?
Chase Edmonds.
I can what?
Kim Bauer.
There are men with guns.
And of course, Jack Bauer.
I want answers. Who are you? Tell me about Del Toro.
None of them actually really play any differently, except for that Kim can't straight knock people over whenever she hits people. Which, to me, is a huge part of the game.
Bastardo!
If bodies aren't dropping, then get it back up, and then dropping again, then you're not video gaming good.
Hey! Put your hands where I can see them!
You can also shoot people in the leg if you want them to faceplant, but I figured that out way too late in the game. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself right now, so before I go on about the actual gameplay, let's talk about the case for a sec. Conduct surveillance and interrogate suspects as you experience the life as CTU agent Jack Bauer. That interrogation doesn't look like it's going all that well. Or is it a surveillance? Which, it still doesn't look like it's going well. But Nodda, I want to know how many writers they got from the show. Well, if the back of the case is to be trusted, they managed to get a writer from the show. I guess the trap didn't work so well. In all honesty, a writer did a pretty good job on getting the story that 24 feel, not just with the transitions, style of the cutscenes, and the likeness of most major cast members of the show, including Kiefer Sutherland, but also with how the story progresses. I say progresses because the story itself, at least to me, wasn't very memorable, but the way that the events unfold are, again, pretty 24-ish. Good job, A-Writer. The story had something to do with the ricin bomb, someone wanting the vice president dead, earthquakes, and I think Kid Rock at some point. I think the overall objective was for the destruction of LA for the terrorists, but don't take my word for it.
Can I ask you a question? What's gonna happen in another 5 hours?
The downfall of Los Angeles.
I honestly wasn't paying all that much attention.
You better hope I'm not the one who finds you.
Now, in this game, there's a lot more action than there would be in a normal season of 24, but they do try to mix it up with some hacking, interrogations.
So your son is sick. I'm sorry, but I still don't see the problem here.
Some surveillance and a lot of driving, a lot more than I thought there would be. The controls work okay for the driving, but I didn't notice any camera controls. Combined with the drifting that can be oversensitive at points, makes chasing other vehicles as easy as shit, fuck! But driving is like 29% of the 24 experience. You might have to do some surveillance, interrogation, hacking, and they're all minigames, so let's just move on to the gameplay. Alright, fine. I'll tell you more about them. With surveillance, you scan nearby buildings looking for any hostiles in the area, but you literally only do this once in the entire game, so just ignore it. Interrogations are a bit more involved since you got a time limit and you gotta pretty much be as bipolar as you can to the interrogatee.
Just tell me the plan. Please tell me what I want to know and I can protect you. Start talking now! While you're here with me, yes you do. You don't know what I'm capable of. Tell me what you know. How do I find them? Why are you looking out the window? Give it to me now! Gave you up! Start talking now!
You know, like employer. Shut up, it was beautiful! Now we move on to the hacking, which is what you'll be doing most out of all the minigames, and it varies. Sometimes you'll be finding the right path for your node, your power, well, that circle thing right there, to reach the highlighted star square. Sometimes you'll have to swap letters around until you get the right order, or you'll be playing Connect the Dot Extreme Network Edition! Or you're retrieving data by playing Simon Says. Some sections are just a combination of a bunch of the hacking games, but my personal favorite hacking game has to be the one where they just straight up tell you what the code is.
436900. What are you doing?
Nailed it. With the minigames and the driving out of the way, let's move on to the gameplay.
Federal agent!
Notice anything strange about the scene? Anything at all? Well, let me give you a look at his fucking head! Why is it cocked back like that? It doesn't even happen all the time. It just randomly happens from what I can tell. But whatever, it's a thing that happens and it's kind of beautiful. Something that isn't beautiful, however, is a lock-on aiming in this game. when it works, you aim where you want to aim, shoot, then wham, bam, sorry I shot you, man. But then when it doesn't work, you have a hard time aiming at who you want to aim at, switching between targets when you're locked on, and even aiming at people who are way too far away for you to shoot.
Intruder! Bastard! Ah!
I played with it on for most of the game just to see if it's an issue that would stick around. Not that it happens all the time, but it happens enough for you to get annoyed by it, so just go ahead and turn that off. You'll thank me later, probably not. Oh, and on a side note, there were a couple of times in the game where, like, the buttons would just flat out give up and stop working, like just specific buttons, for just a few seconds, and then it would start working again. I honestly don't know why, but it only happened a couple of times, so it wasn't a major issue, but something worth noting for sure. The cover system is also pretty useless since aiming is a little weird and you can't really video game good for cover.
He's not dead.
Thankfully, you don't really need to use it since you can just peek corners and run a gun fine, but with occasional cover shooting. Now that we got the bat out of the way, we can talk about the rest of the controls, which are pretty K. Nothing special. Except for square, of course.
Put down your weapon.
You'll be using those pretty K controls and weird aiming to either shoot at people, sneak around, and blend into your environment. Pretty much plain sight sneaking. The AI in this game is pretty stupid, but the game throws enough of them at you to make these things right here useful. But then again, I go out of my way to screw the shit out of people. I did have a good time playing this game, but then again, keep in mind I am a fan of the show, so that does play a role in my enjoyment. But past the control issues, the game was overall fun for me. I did enjoy the punchy gun sounds, cutscenes, and the voice actors sounded pretty similar to their respected characters. Besides President Palmer, I can't quite put my finger on it, but he just seems a bit off.
6 months ago, individuals acting against the United States government attempted to remove me from office through assassination.
But yeah, the game was pretty K, especially for the $5 I spent on it.
I haven't seen that son of a bitch in over a year.